Good evening, everybody. I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna need to invest in like a ring light or something at some point because I don't know how these YouTube people make their lighting all pretty, but I mean, I already have the twinkle lights, but I have to have my like bathroom light on. It's all weird. Anyway, um, so I don't know how the spooky story thing went yesterday. Didn't look, but um, figured I would read another one out of the same book. Unexplained exclamation point. Um, and there are, I mean, like it says, 347 chapters. Little short things about unexplained things. Some of them are, kind of weird. But um, this one made me laugh really hard because this is sort of like the Loch Ness monster's cousin or something. It's called Ogopogo. Have you ever heard of Ogopogo? I mean, I've had this book for a long time, so I guess at some point I had heard of Ogopogo, but I had forgotten about Ogopogo. So let me read you a little bit about our dear friend, the Ogopogo. Around 8 o'clock on a pleasant morning in mid-July 1974, a teenage girl was swimming just off the southern shore of Lake Okanagan, an 80-mile-long body of water in the southern interior of British Columbia. Oh, that's like on this coast. I don't know why I thought this was on the east coast. Her destination was a combined raft diving platform a quarter mile from the beach. She was only 3 feet from it when a huge, heavy something bumped against her legs. Startled and frightened, she lunged for the raft and climbed aboard. From her new vantage point, she looked into the clear water and saw a strange animal 15 or 20 feet away. I could see a hump or coil which was 8 feet long and 4 feet above the water moving in a forward motion, she told J. Richard Greenwell of the International Society of Cryptozoology over a decade later. It was traveling north away from me. It did not seem to be in much of a rush, and it swam very slowly. 5 to 10 feet behind the hump, about 5 to 8 feet below the surface, I could see its tail. The tail was forked and horizontal like a whale's, and it was 4 to 6 feet wide. As the hump submerged, the tail came to the surface until its tip poked above the water about a foot. The creature was lost to view soon afterwards. The entire incident had lasted 4 or 5 minutes. The woman, identified at her request only as Mrs. B. Clark, told Greenwell that the animal had a very dull dark gray color and moved in an undulating fashion. She had the impression that the head joined the body without a neck, like a fish or a snake. This thing looked more like a whale than a fish, but I have never seen a whale that skinny and snaky looking before. That's in quotes. Skinny and snaky looking. Oh no, is he gonna interrupt my thing? Damn it.
What thing? What's happening here?
You're interrupting my bedtime story reading. Yep.
Oh no. Were you recording?
Yeah, I was. Still am, actually. Welp.
Can you edit things?
Nope. I mean, well, sure. Maybe I could figure out how to edit. I don't want to figure out how to edit things. So I'm just gonna finish my bedtime story about the Ogopogo. And then I will be done. I'm almost done. A couple pages though. Not even. Anywho. It was a whale that was skinny and snaky looking. In fact, such a whale existed at least at one time. Evidence of its presence can be found in the fossil record, though no trace has been uncovered any nearer to the present time than 20 million years ago. It is known as the Basilosaurus. Oh, like the basilisk? What? Or Zeuglodon, or something very much like it has been reported for decades in Okanagan. Since 1926, it has been called the Ogopogo, after a parody of an English music hall song. Named after a song. Its silly name notwithstanding, Ogopogo is one of the more plausible lake monsters, if for no other reason than the reports are strikingly consistent. Moreover, they clearly do not take their inspiration from folkloric images of giant serpents or long-necked plesiosaurs. Zeuglodons are known to paleontologists and not many other people. So, let's see. I'm just going to summarize the rest of this. Since 1860, people have seen it. Mid 1870s, there were 2 people that saw it. 1920s, hunting parties saw it. 1949, 1967, there were 20 people all at once that saw it in 1967. It had a head like a bucket and was spouting water. And then in 1989, there was one that appeared about 1,000 feet from an investigative team with the British Columbia Cryptozoology Club. He said it was whale-like. So, there are no convincing pictures of the Ogopogo. All existing photographic evidence is inconclusive and suspect, possibly because it's never reached the sort of concentrated scientific attention paid to the Loch Ness Monster. So, for Ogopogo, it is entirely eyewitness testimony. So, the Ogopogo. Hey, mister, had you ever heard of the Ogopogo? He says no. Well, he shook his head no, because he's scared of me now. My recording. So, that is your spooky story for the night. Unexplained. The Ogopogo. Now go find it. No, stay home. Don't go find it. Someday, when we are free to roam about the world and Earth is no longer closed, go find the Ogopogo. She's in British Columbia.